Another opposition party in Nigeria, the Coalition of United Political Parties, the CUPP, has alleged that some individuals have begun adulterating the voters' register of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The coalition also alleged that a court case has been initiated secretly to compel INEC to stop the use of bimodal voter accreditation system, also known as BVAS. It also claimed that INEC chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu is under pressure to drop the Commission's hard stance on compulsory use of the BVAS or get sacked. Joining me live on the news now is the Co-Spokesperson, Coalition of United Political Parties, Mark Adebayo, to discuss this issue. Glad to have you on the news, Mark.
Thanks so much for having me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Viewers.
My pleasure. Now, Mark, we are well aware that your organization say that some forces have begun adulterating the voters' register of the Independent National Electoral Commission, which we know as the INEC. Could you bring us up to speed with this allegation?
Well, thank you so much. A good election will produce a good leader. A bad election will produce bad leaders. And that is why this is a collective responsibility of all Nigerians together to ensure that 2023 we get it right finally. And so when it came to our attention that there have been some sharp practices with regards to the voter register, we needed to bring it to the public fore, because all Nigerians are the stakeholders with regards to election, with regards to electing who will be their leader, with regard to who will determine the destiny of Nigeria for another 4 years. So it's very, very important. So when you get something like this, that, look at this person now, this Shimsuruke Davis, the picture is female, clearly, it's that one of female, but in the gender is written male. Now, that automatically disqualifies that person from voting. And then you now see one man, Adesanya Nash, born in the year, year of birth is 1900. This one is becoming a Methuselah, you understand? Born in year 2000. And then you see where because you do direct capturing when you go to register. When I went to collect my PVC, it was direct capturing. Nobody is allowed to send what do you call it, passport photographs. These are the kind of discrepancies that were discovered by the vigilance of the opposition political parties. So that had to be brought to the fore of public knowledge that this is what is happening, so that something can be done about it. So, well, it's allegation, but you go and verify, you go and investigate and ensure. And we called yesterday at our press conference that everybody found culpable should be punished. That is it. They should be brought to book. It is important for us to get the elections of 2023 right. It is important for us to give Nigerians the opportunity, the freedom to choose who their leaders are going to be for the next 4 years, without any manipulation, without any intrigues, without any shenanigans. That is the importance and the import of this expose that we know that has been discomfiting the people that are the perpetrators of this crime. Because we need to bring this to the fore. You cannot take this to election. We have seen cases where, look at what has been discovered recently. We see cases where loads of PVCs abandoned inside gutter, buried somewhere by people. Those are PVCs belonging to people. But because of this bimodal voter accreditation system, they know that those things will not be able to be done again. They went and dumped them somewhere. Now, some people are trying to rig the election before the election. Some people are trying to predetermine the result of the election before the election. Some people are now planning to, because when this comes up and there's an issue, you cannot vote, you allow all manner of people to vote. You see names from New Zealand, you see names from Switzerland, you see names from Ghana, you see names from Germany, you see names from all over the world. What we have is Independent National Electoral Commission. It is not International Electoral Commission. It's not international.
Very true. Very true, Mark.
It is localized in Nigeria.
Yes, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I would like to ask you another question. Now, you mentioned that we need to get it right this time, and it seems that so many people do not understand the importance of a credible and very reliable voters registration. And now we see that there's been a lot of adulterated voter registration. What effects can this have on the forthcoming elections?
Well, it will have a terrible impact if it's not clean up. That is why we have to call the attention of all the relevant authorities to this anomaly, so that it can be quickly rectified before that time. Because you don't want to enter into election, you cannot do anything a few days or a few weeks to the election about this. So we need to have a clean. If you don't have a clean electoral register, you are not going to have a clean election. You are not going to have a free, fair, and credible election. And these three elements are extremely important: free, fair, credible. These are very important. So because you need to, if you do not get the authentic voters on the voters register, you are going to get a lot of fake voters. A lot of people that, how can you say somebody was born in 1900 and then he's on the ballot? You know, he's on the voter register. No. These are the things that immediately, you know, raises suspicion about some sharp practices. Because Nigerians, what we have been suffering from over the decades, you know, from pre-independence to now, has been the major challenge of bad leadership. And we need to correct that. We need to rectify that. And that is why Nigerians are determined to make a positive change, a redirection of this country come 2023. We need a government that we need a government that will appreciate hard work, duty, commitment, and patriotism of Nigerians. Like our national anthem says, the labor of our heroes past, and I will add, including the labor of our heroes present, should not be in vain.
In vain. Very true, Mark. I'm so sorry about that. Now, we also hear that the INEC boss, that's Mahmood Yakubu, as yesterday advocated a review of the configuration of polling units to address the vote buying and inducement during elections. So what would be your reaction to that?
Now, the issue is that's a wonderful one from the chairman of INEC, a wonderful one, because vote buying is a major albatross on the outcome of our elections over the year. So people, once you compromise the conscience of the people, once you compromise the choice of the people, it no longer becomes a democratic choice. Whoever emerges from a vote buying process is not the popular choice of the people. That is the implication. When you are buying the people, when you are buying their votes, it shows that you know that you are not popular, you are not wanted. All you want to do is to compromise them in order for them to vote for you. That is why I was saying the other time that the labor of our heroes past and present should not be in vain. Why? Because we need to have a government that appreciates duty, commitment, patriotism. You understand? We don't want a government that abandons and refuses to appreciate the efforts of patriots. Look at some soldiers or policemen who have committed themselves, their lives to the service of this country. Some of them are languishing in sickness and the rest of that. Some of our footballers are also. We want a government that comes to appreciate the patriotic intervention of Nigerians. Look at the recent, somebody helps you to recover $13.1 billion US. Illegally taken away from you. So he helps you to recover it. And what are you doing? You are not giving back his consultancy of just 20% of 13.1 billion. I'm talking of Nwoko and solicitors. What happened recently?
All right, Mark.
Appreciate people for their patriotism and duty and commitment, not
very true. Thank you.
Bad citizens.
Okay, now finally, before we let you go, is your organization, because we know that you have stated out some gray areas on this interview, so I would like to ask, is your organization liaising with the electoral body to sort out these gray areas and make sure that we have a free and fair elections come 2023?
Definitely. I mean, they have seen the news. It's part of liaising with them is the fact that they have seen this publicly. One could have gone, silently, quietly to them and point this out. But what do you know will happen in the back room? But you need to bring this to the public space. Now they have seen it. I'm sure they're going to start looking at it. We have a very proactive INEC now. Very proactive, very creative INEC now. I'm sure yesterday, immediately they started responding to it, and they will look into it and see if it's true. And then, like we said, if anybody is found culpable, the appropriate sanctions should be taken against that person. It's very important. This is a collective responsibility of all Nigerians. It's not about partisanship. You know, as it affects it will affect every political party across the spectrum. It is not just limited to CUPP members alone. Every other political party that is interested, that is contesting the 2023 election, should show interest in this. And we are confident that INEC will do the needful, and we are calling on the security agencies, especially the Department of State Services, to also look into this and get anybody involved in this arrested.
All right, definitely, Mark. Thank you so much. It really is necessary that every hand be on deck at this point. Thank you so much, Spokesperson Coalition of United Political Parties, Mark Adebayo. Thank you for your time.
Thanks so much for having me. Thank you.
My pleasure.